Hey Weather Warriors, hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking about Arctic air and an increase in snow chances for the East Coast and the northern United States. This area up here is going to penetrate its way into the northeastern United States as we head towards mid-November. And then we're going to start around, we'll say Monday, November 4th, and we're going to track this out day by day, and we're going to look at our snow chances. But before we begin, click subscribe below because I'm going to be releasing my winter forecast. If it's not out already, I'm going to keep this video kind of casual because I got to get that finished and uploaded for you guys. So we also have extreme weather events, daily forecasts, and extreme weather breakdowns. So we're going to crack right into this thing. As you can see right now, we've got high pressure out west. Really, for the most part, it is very warm out west. There's actually fires down into California. There's a lot of ridging happening over here. This is shunting the Arctic air up in Canada finally to the east half of the United States, particularly the northeast. You can see this dying low pressure system. There's a nice little storm that tracked up into Canada. Wasn't as great as expected in the U.S., except for Colorado. But that's finally moving out. That's helped drag some cold air in. But that's going to continue as we head towards mid-November. This is around the 4th now. This is, right around now. And if you're watching this video, even past this, we're going to keep this pretty broad. So the general concepts of this video will be good for about a week or so out, even past Monday. So, maybe into like Saturday even. But, we're just going to look at the very basics here. And we got a high pressure system coming down. And, there was already some high pressure that came behind that low pressure system. And you're going to get another reinforcing shot. And this is really going to set the stage. There's a nice baroclinic zone. You might get some snow that tracks into the East Coast from this wave. And this is Tuesday. Now watch what happens as we get towards Wednesday. And, Wednesday night into Thursday, this high moves to the east. There's a little bit of a baroclinic zone, so there's a kind of a temperature gradient. You got another high pressure. That's going to shunt even more cold air down. There's a lot of warm air kind of in the southern U.S., and what that's doing is you're going to get cold air coming down, and it's going to cause a temperature gradient. There is going to be some pressure differences, and where you see that, you're going to get a nice little baroclinic zone where you might get some chances for precipitation. You got a little bit of rain down here, a little bit of snow up here. Really, it's a flat-looking system. When you get these flat baroclinic zones, zonal kind of looks, you're not going to get anything major, but you definitely have an increased chance of snow. As you can see on Michigan on this is Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And look at that, finally goes into New York, Pennsylvania. You might get your first batch of snow. I mean, you probably had a little bit, but you might get a little bit of snow out of this, and this is on Thursday morning. Another little batch out here in Nebraska, South Dakota, Rapid City, Badlands. Meanwhile, the southeastern United States, this high pressure, this pattern, it's pretty progressive, but it's not digging enough. So it's not going to quite get to the southeastern United States, and this ridging out here is going to kind of keep it going to the east and really not let the southwestern United States in any of this cold. So as we head towards Friday, the moisture really increases. Here's your high. This is a powerful, powerful high pressure. You can see those isobars packed tightly together, big old pressure gradient. And as you can see, now you got some moisture coming out from the Gulf. Okay, it's really not, it's more southwesterly, but, looking at this, it's actually more easterly. It's going to be kind of more easterly, and you're not, really this is not a classic storm setup. And again, it's probably not going to reach too far north. You got a high pressure system here. It's going to be blowing drier air in. You got easterly flow. You're not going to get that moisture transport it up into the Great Lakes in the Northeast for a classic storm system, but there is a temperature gradient. There's some leftover moisture here, and you might get some activity as you head towards Friday. Watch me as we go towards the afternoon on Friday into Saturday. This wave moves to the east. You can see, for the most part, the moisture is out into the southeastern United States. There's that 540 line. That's going to be kind of your average temperature being in freezing in the atmosphere. And you can see there's a little bit of snow on the backside. So, and also some potentially some lake induced snow, but really overall pretty light. But there is a chance there as you head towards Friday into Saturday night or Saturday morning. And then you got some more snow here coming out of Canada on Saturday, and that could also impact the east. And then you got another wave coming out, a little clipper disturbance coming out on Monday, the 11th of November. So you got another one out here that'll probably come down to the south. So you keep getting these reinforcing shots of air, but this will continue to move. And this is definitely something we want to watch. This is Monday, the 11th, still a few days out. This could change. If it goes down 100 miles, you could be dealing with a few inches of snow in the northeast. But this actually indicates some rain. Again, questionable, because what I've noticed far out in advance is the models, particularly the CFS, but even sometimes the GFS, seems to be overdoing the temperatures. Especially for the central U.S. and the west U.S., I've noticed it's been kind of overdoing the temperatures. The East Coast, it's kind of out for review for this one. But you can see a nice little wave comes out towards Tuesday. Still's got to be watched for snow. And as you can see, as we head towards Wednesday, the 13th, getting kind of far out there, but it's worth watching. You can see a little more organized system here because you got a nice pull of warm, moist air now. Stronger low pressure system, got a nice high pressure system behind it. So you got that pull and you got a high pressure system behind it, classic cold front along it. So now you're going to get more of an organized system. Not perfect, but definitely a little bit more snow. You can see some lake-induced snow and then also some kind of wraparound snow from this low pressure system targeting the East Coast, and also that kind of moved through the northern U.S. And you got another wave coming out as well. We'll see what happens here. This is getting pretty far out, and you can see another chance as it moves to the east as we head towards Saturday, the 16th of November. Now, what does this all mean? Well, we're not going to look at snowfall amounts and talk about whether it's going to be a major storm and stuff like that. We're just looking at the general pattern. And as you can see, the general pattern is very progressive and active if you're in that line right there and to the north of that line for snowfall. So we're definitely going to be making some more videos, as we head towards each of these events that come through if they're strong enough. So I counted maybe we had like 5 of them come through, 6 of them. So, it's a progressive pattern. And if you look at the 500 millibars, we're going to look at this quickly. And then we'll look at snowfall amounts just for fun because you get extra stuff on this channel that you won't see on the news. Again, these aren't official reports. Always defer to the National Weather Service. We'll look at those in a second, but I want to show you these 500 millibar height anomalies. We'll look at temperatures too. And the general pattern here on Sunday and Monday here, let's start on Monday. Move this over here, get this out of the way. This is Monday, 11/4. So, as that storm moved through, we had that Arctic blast that came through Halloween, and it really set up this kind of pattern, which we might see more in the winter here, as I had in my forecast, and I'll have another update on that soon. Ridging out east, that's going to help shunt cold air into the east half of the United States. Meanwhile, it's going to stay warm out for the west half of the United States and pretty dry for California, which is unfortunate. We want that pattern to change, especially for Southwest California. But these are height anomalies, and it's essentially measuring, how the heights are. When you get lower heights, you're going to get a little more contraction in the atmosphere. Essentially, it's going to be colder. And, typically to the east of these little troughs or short waves, you can get storm systems as well. So as we head towards, midweek, you can just see how it's just very progressive. We head towards Friday, get another wave out to the east. Ridging starts to build to the west. Now, the coldest air is actually typically along and kind of behind these height anomalies. So even though there's reds here, this is 500 millibars, so this is kind of higher up in the atmosphere. We're looking at things just near and below the jet, so got to keep that in mind. And then as we head towards Saturday, the 10th, warms up a little bit, but here we go. Another wave, boom, right there. Big wave, big trough right there. So I definitely look at mid-November. This is going to change quite a bit. Again, the signal, you're seeing a lot of troughs move into the East Coast. Again, we thought that would happen in late October into early November, and potentially now mid-November. So this pattern is looking pretty cool and pretty active for at least this area of the United States right here, and especially into the east half of Canada. Again, the models have seemed to have a warm bias for the central and eastern United States, or central and western United States. This I'm going to use as a case study. I'm going to kind of look at this and see how this model performs over the next couple of weeks in this area. And it seems to have been kind of overestimating the cold air out east. But we'll see how this works out. So this is going to be kind of a trial run. And the CFS is kind of like that too. But this is what I thought would set up more common than not this winter, with the sea surface temperatures and the general patterns we have set up. So let's look at temperatures real quick, and then we'll look at snowfall. Temperature anomalies. So how cold will it be behind this ordeal? As we head towards, let's go Monday. It's already cold in the U.S., but as we head towards midweek, this is around Thursday, you can see that it's just really cold air, 20 below zero, or not 20 below zero, 20 degrees below average. And finally, you see this in the East Coast and southeastern United States. You're getting some cooler air, but I don't think that's going to last very long in the southeast. It's going to be a brief wave, and then there's going to be some more warm air that builds in. Meanwhile, the west is just baking, 20 degrees above average. So you got this split across the United States. It's going to be quite a contrast for the first couple of weeks in November. So you head towards the 9th, 10th, finally moves to the east. Talking 20, 30 below. Again, specific numbers are going to change a little bit. It's the signal that we're looking for, the general below average and the general pattern. Another cold wave up here that'll move in. Still very warm out here in the West Coast, but you can see, look at that sharp wave, 30, 40 below zero, or below average coming in the northern United States. And one thing's for sure, the thing I've really noticed with this pattern and with the sea surface temperature, this area might get pegged this winter with cold air and temperature swings. Temperature swings, especially out in this region right here. But this area is looking very promising for a nasty winter. This area is under question. Again, we're going to go more into that in detail in the winter forecast. But you can see that next wave finally plows into the East Coast again. Meanwhile, the ridging just will not let up in the West Coast. As you head towards mid-month, it just continues. So there's a very progressive, several little blasts of cold air. And again, with these fast blasts of cold air, you typically don't get these large-scale storm systems, but you do get clippers and you do get progressive little disturbances that move kind of east to west. And they can deliver some batches of snow. So that's why, again, I don't think the threat for giant snow storms are high for the east and northern U.S., but I do think several chances at small snows as we head towards November. And really, November is pretty early in the season still, and so we're talking, above average winter activity in general. So, one other thing we'll look at is the snowfall amounts. Then we can look at actual temperatures too. Don't worry about this because that's the old snowstorm. What we want to look at is these little waves that come through, and you can see as we head towards, this goes out to the 10th, so this doesn't actually go out all the way. So their snow product does not go out all the way to the 16th, but it does go out to the 10th. There's actually more snow in this region through the 15th, but as you can see, the GFS is actually indicating few inches of snow, some areas along the lakes seeing significant snowfall, Michigan as well. And then also the northern U.S. seeing another batch of a couple to several inches in some areas, especially in Canada. But as you can see, that snow track is very active up here and somewhat active in the United States as well. But you can see that you can kind of see those tracks. So kind of got a northwest to southeast type of track. Again, typically with those storms, not as strong. It's good for lake effect snow, but if you're kind of inland or away from the lakes and in the northern plains, typically smaller snows with very cold air, powdery, windy sometimes behind them. And then so that's the snowfall amounts. We'll look at the temperatures real quick, just for fun here. And then what we're going to do is Let's see. So we'll go out to Monday here. And you can see temperatures. We'll fast forward this a little bit. Thursday, Friday. You can see, go back to Thursday. That was a very cold day there. This is kind of Thursday morning. You can see single sub-zero temperatures in Canada, single digits in the northern United States, and then 32 degrees, really the northern third of the United States. But as we track our way into Friday and Saturday, you can see that cold air mass finally moves to the east. You're talking teens, maybe for the first time, for the Appalachian, all the way down 30s, all the way down into Mississippi, Louisiana. Well, maybe not quite Louisiana. Almost. There we go. Saturday, the 9th, down into Louisiana near the Gulf Coast. That is pretty far south. So the southeast is finally going to get a chance at cold air as we head towards next week. Meanwhile, the northeast, single digits in some areas, maybe Maine. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see how this model performs. And then as you can see, as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday, the 13th, 8 degrees below zero. So, I mean, this is pretty astronomical for November. We're talking extreme cold air. This is going to change a little bit. Again, I'm going to use this as kind of a case study to see how this model performs, because these long-range models have overestimated the warm air, particularly for the west and central U.S. East Coast, not as much, but still pretty, even then, it's still been overestimating the warm air for everyone. And I want to see how this does. The CFS in particular has done this. The GFS kind of, as you get towards the 2-week range, but the CFS has really overestimated the warm air for the fall. So we're going to factor these in, and I'm also going to factor this in the winter forecast, which will be out soon. So subscribe for those updates, and subscribe if you like these daily weather forecast breakdowns. Comment below if you guys have any topic suggestions, because we'll make some content for you guys on this channel based off your feedback. Smash that thumbs up button. Hope you have a great day. Share this with a friend, and we'll see you soon.